According to the brief plot description on Full Moon's Tubi channel, the evil puppets are back in a traveling doll circus run by a puppet carver whose monstrous schemes will bring out their sure fight to the death. And boy, is that a load of crap. The movie opens up with Mr. McGrew burning a box containing a puppet. Who's McGrew? Well, he's a man who bought the puppets at an auction. The movie takes place before Puppet Master 2, since Torch isn't around and Leech Woman is still alive. And we know it takes place after Puppet Master 3 because the film takes place in the States. When and why did Andre randomly auction off his puppets? Or, if this happened after his death, when the hell did the puppets escape, auction themselves off, then return to the inn to be found by the psychics? It's best not to think too hard about things. God knows the filmmakers didn't. So McGrew bought the puppets and we see him burn one. Now, who is the Kentucky Fried Doll? Well, it is not one of the main puppets. Assuming you didn't watch this movie first, I mean, why would you? You should at least know the main group by their appearance alone. And we see all of the dolls we should see for when this movie's taking place. So, if this was supposed to be a mystery, it was really bad. We later learn that McGrew's assistant went missing, and it was obvious from the first scene it's mentioned in that he did it. We learn, according to McGrew's story, the man ditched town to be with his dad. But the dude doesn't have one. And though I forgot the reasoning that McGrew gave to the cop, there was one point where he was questioned, where he made it clear he didn't know anything. And then, a few lines later, he was giving an answer to the thing he was questioned about. It was no mystery what he did and who was inside the puppet. I don't know if it was meant to be a mystery, I don't know if it was supposed to be some cool revelation, but in my opinion, if that was supposed to be the case, it really failed. Anyway, one lame local park puppet show later, and not a traveling doll circus later, we're introduced to a man named Tank. He carves things, and when McGrew sees a thing he's carving, he makes the man an offer saying he'll pay him a whopping $5 more if he agrees to be his wood carver. You see, because the mechanic's paying him $30 a week, but McGrew, the big spender, he's willing to pay $35. Now you see, McGrew wants to replicate the living puppets, and he believes the way to do this is make the perfect puppet, and put souls into them. We don't know how he knows how to do this crazy soul magic, but he does. The entire movie is just Tank carving a puppet, made of wood. It's later made out of metal, but whatever, he's carving wood. Occasionally we might get other scenes, like when McGrew's daughter nearly gets raped by a bunch of troublemakers, or when... I'm sure that a couple other non-carving scenes happen. Anyway, eventually, after nearly 15 minutes, the puppets begin doing their thing. They kill the leader of the wannabe rapist gang, they end up killing 2 cops who come to arrest McGrew, and then we see McGrew has Tank strapped to a table. McGrew transfers Tank into a, old school Fallout terminal, and then Tank and the puppets kill him. The end. This is a real nothing movie. I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad, however, there's no reason for it to exist. We learn nothing new, we don't really get any cool puppet moments outside of Blade and Tunnel or teaming up on the lead rapist, and it really feels like a weird spin-off that doesn't quite fit anywhere in the timeline. I mean, why would Andre auction off his friends to begin with, including his wife? And speaking of Andre's wife, Leech Woman returns. She hasn't been seen in the last 2 movies, and she was only in about half of part 2, because Paramount, the company distributing the movies at the time, didn't like her one bit, because she was too ugly or something? I guess it's okay for people like Jason to look the way he looks, but when you have a woman looking off-putting, no one wants to see that. I don't know what their logic was. In my opinion, the puppet that spits leeches is kinda cool, but maybe I'm the weird one. I'm glad they brought her back. I think she's a really cool puppet, but other than a few brief shots with her in them, there was no reason for her to be in this. Just like my complaint with the puppets in the last movie, in this movie, Leech Woman does literally nothing. She's not even in the final fight scene where the puppets all attack McGrew. As for the other things I could talk about, the acting is hit or miss, the video and audio quality shifts around at times, and they even reuse shots from previous movies. But anyway, we'll wrap this thing up. In the end, I would rate Curse of the Puppet Master a 6 out of 10. That's kind of funny considering it's a 6th movie. It's watchable. It's possible you may like the story, but as for me personally, I just wasn't a fan. Like I said, there was very little cool puppet moments. They bring back one of my favorite puppets and do nothing with her, and we learn nothing new, and just wind up confused as to why in the world the puppets ended up at an auction, when Andre was actively in the middle of escaping the Nazis. Well anyway, I'm looking forward to Retro Puppet Master. If you've seen this movie, leave your thoughts on it down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Have a nice day.
Looking for more horror fun?
You're goddamn right.
Then check out the VHS comic book series, a parody of the horror genre that follows the lives of 3 teens as they fight to survive a horror movie, where every day is loaded with blood, boobs, and buds. The first 2 issues can be found in the description below.
I was obsessed with